where to get it. Alright, I still can't customize. No, can't customize weapons. Alright, let's continue with the combat or the side ops. Yeah, there's two down here. Prisoner extraction and armored vehicle units.
Please select a landing zone.
Okay, so down there. Yeah, we're still going for non-lethal. Armored vehicle unit. Well, the best way to do that is to extract the armored vehicles. That usually gives us a good highlight. Alright. I don't ever sell anything out of order. I usually am too, but in this game I found that if I'm lacking money, selling the things in there is actually a good way to do it, because I usually don't need it. Alright, let's turn on another cassette then. So, Ocelot's Briefing 2.
What's that? You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization. The word became associated with a type of forced labor facility in the Soviet Gulag system. OKB scientists and engineers who'd been convicted of crimes were sent to a Sharashka for forced R&D. The Sharashkas were supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name 4th Special Department.
Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here.
Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes
I don't believe in him.
Where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice.
And if it wasn't, they'd leave?
Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the concept that's taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms.
All right. Go on.
Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me Sharashka. This was after the war in Afghanistan broke out. While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the honor of becoming Special Interrogation Advisor to the forced labor camps. But the more men I interrogated, the more people saw me as just that, the interrogator. It helped cover my real objective of keeping you safe.
You went that far for me?
Far enough to keep you alive. I ended up being pretty well known among the Afghan guerrillas. Some of them would have seen me on the battlefield, and that's how I got the second half of the name. Shashka. It's a sword, a type of saber from the Caucasus. Russian dragoons and Cossacks carried them into battle. Now, the Russian Empire had a general by the name of Fyodor Arturovich Keller. His bravery earned him the nickname Russia's Greatest Shashka. Someone must have known about that, because somewhere along the line, Shashka got stuck on the end of Sharashka. The guerrillas were using the name amongst themselves. By the time I got to hearing about it, pronunciation had wound up as Shalashashka.
So that's the target. It was a perfect fit.
But you see how rumors and ideas about people can get out of hand fast. Once you create a character and put it out there in public mind, it warps and twists with every baseless rumor. And before you know it, all people see are phantoms. In my case, it works out just fine. I'm plenty used to working under aliases.
Analysis complete.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm currently moving through all the tapes, slowly but surely, because they are the main story of this game, and everything is included in there, so they are important to listen to. Bye. No one gave a fuck about that. How the hell does that happen?
You gotta extract him.
I just extracted a big hunk of metal in front of people and they were like, no, I don't know what happened. Shut up. I don't need your sass.
He's coming too. Roger that.
But yeah, so the tapes are what fills in the holes in the storyline. And I know a lot of people have said that, well, there's no story in Metal Gear Solid 5. There is a ton of story. You just have to listen to it. There we go. That's all of them. Should be.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
And you.
Side op completed.
Nice.
Side ops list updated. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
7 plus an armored vehicle and a mortar. How does that taste? Rewards, because once of these is done. Now let's see. Which one? This
Marker
one.
placed.
Prisoner extraction. Yeah, that lore is in the cassette tapes, Setama. That you are very correct about. And so also I will be putting this up as a Let's Play afterwards. I am moving through them slowly but surely because I actually completely tuned that out when I started this playthrough. I was like, okay, going from mission to mission to mission and unlocking all of these one after another. But I haven't listened to any of them more than a couple of seconds on one of them. So what I'm doing right now is while I'm doing these side missions is that I'm tracking off the tapes while I'm doing them. Because there is a lot of side ops to do right now. I have the stun arm blueprint, the highly skilled soldiers, the prisoner extraction over here, the legendary brown bear, and another heavy infantry, and I think I will unlock some more as well. And then we need to head over to Africa, so I think I will be able to go through a couple of these at least.
So SALT II
Hopefully.
still hasn't gone into effect. That treaty was drawn up to limit not just the size of the US and Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals, but also their delivery systems. Whole deal. That's when we thought all those years of negotiations had paid off. Somebody decides to invade Afghanistan. The timing couldn't have been worse.
The president was in the middle of the SALT II talks back then.
Maybe while you were busy trying to stop Peace Walker? I heard. President Ford was meeting with the General Secretary in Vladivostok. In his absence, the political brass in America detected what they didn't realize was false nuclear launch data from Peace Walker. They were on the verge of ordering a retaliatory nuclear strike.
Coleman's big idea? Humans are incapable of destroying themselves. Turns out he never knew what humans are capable of.
If that AI, I mean, the boss, hadn't found a way to stop the fake data transmission, they probably would have gone ahead with the launch.
Deterrence was revealed as the pipe dream it was.
All thanks to you and her. The US-Soviet talks look set to fall through. What happened in Nicaragua no doubt helped trigger a change of heart. But in the end,
The times define the politics. When you grab their tail, they turn and bite your hand.
You gonna extract him?
I first met you 20 years ago now. The place was Selenouyarsk in the Soviet Union. We were in it.
Alright, before I continue this, I want to take a moment and actually explain that. Because they talked about something called Peace Walker. And for those that actually aren't that well adjusted to the lore of Metal Gear Solid, and there are awesome videos on that on the YouTube as well if you aren't. But Peace Walker is a side game to the Metal Gear's story. It was available on PSP, I believe, or something like that, and it featured a story of Big Boss during the time between this and Metal Gear Solid 3. So if you haven't played it or are unable to play it, I would recommend watching a Let's Play from it if you want to fill out that story hole. They explain it a bit here, but there is a lot more to it. So I just wanted to get that out there, that Peace Walker is a game that actually fills out a lot of story between this and Metal Gear Solid 3. Just so you all understand a little bit of what they are talking about. Because if there's something that's convoluting, I mean, people talk about the Legend of Zelda storyline being confusing and upright weird. The Metal Gear Solid line is worse. Alright, so we're on meeting ocelots and information of a certain organization. So let's continue on that.
I was with the GRU. You were still fighting for America. 1964. Operation Snake Eater. Its objective? The assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home,
here they are covering Metal Gear Solid 3.
Title, Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization. You knew the original members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O, whereas he was to you, Major Zero. Donald Anderson, aka Sigan, Dr. Clark, who went by paramedic during the operation, and the fourth, you. From China, there was Eva, and me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union. 6 in total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless. As were East and West, we joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with the problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted.
I still trusted him in those days.
We thought what he was doing was the boss's will, until he started that one project.
Les Enfants Terribles, Zero called in.
You parted ways, as did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact, although truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the Army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. I'd imagine Zero did too. You always were the best when it came to hide and seek. Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts. I tried every method I could think of, but Zero was gone.
Analysis
Freed of his control, his creation, his power continue to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without him, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops Unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, okay, so that gives a little more background story before this game started. So yeah, as I was saying, what these cassette tapes are, they are the lore of the game. Cover more and more of what people are missing within the game itself, mostly.
analysis complete.
Oh, holy shit, he's nice. He's really nice. Let's see if we can get him before he actually climbs into his truck. Because I think he's one of the truck goers. There we go. Haha. Alright.
He's coming too. Roger that.
There we go. Okay, this is actually going rather well so far.
You gonna extract him?
Yeah, I'm extracting everyone. Haven't you seen? No discrimination from me. Everyone gets a turn. Alright, let's see. There we have one guy. In. There's another one. There's another one.
He's coming too.
Right, everyone that was asleep inside there has now awoken.
Sandstorm approaching.
Oh, we're getting a sandstorm. Fucking nice. Supply drop,
Please
please.
select a drop point.
Over there.
Supplies requested. Supply drop complete.
Right, let's wait for the supply drop. Okay, I got him marked. That's the important thing. Let's turn on another cassette storyline.
Christmas Eve, 1979. The Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims have revolted against the Soviet-friendly regime established the year before. The DRA forces could no longer contain it themselves, so the Soviets went in to intervene. The Afghan government was powerless and fraught with infighting. They lost the hearts and minds of the people, and that alarmed the Soviet leadership. With the Islamic Revolution happening in Iran, the Soviets felt they had to act fast or risk the spread of Islamic revivalism. A superpower, sending a motorized rifle division against men on horseback with antique rifles. Everyone thought it'd be over in an instant, only it wasn't. Some Muslims made their fight a jihad, a holy war, and began a guerrilla campaign on all fronts. A war of attrition. These fighters call themselves Mujahideen. They're being supported by the West through Pakistan. That's why Miller was involved. He was training them near the Zero Line, sponsored by the CIA. The war has become a nightmare for the Soviet troops stationed here. They thought they'd be headed home in 6 months at the most. year passed. 2 years. Now here we are 4 years.